I've been working with the name autoparent.com. And so one funny thing about autoparent.com, actually I've been working with autoparent.net because autoparent.com is taken by the Grand Theft Auto people. It's the parent company for Grand Theft Auto, which kind of cracked me up. But what I like about autoparent.com is it could mean autoimmune parent, or it could mean automatic parent. And by automatic parent, what I'm trying for is like if you have an automatic idea of what to say, if you don't even have to think about it, if it comes automatically, then it frees you up to have more positive interactions with your kid. But I was like, I don't love it. I mean, auto parent, what are you talking about? Does it refer to cars? Like, what is it?
Right.
And then this morning I was in the shower and I was thinking about this altercation that could have been that I had with my nephew, which was all about words. And it was about this, I put up on our wall this like big, you guys have probably seen it, I think. It's this big words that are all about me. So the word like funny is up there, resourceful, creative, coach, wife, daughter, funny, potty mouth, like all those kinds of words that express who I am. And my 12-year-old nephew the other day was like looking at this wall and he's going, resourceful. You're not resourceful. And I said to him, so I've got this one word, right? Like if you stop at that moment, I could have yelled at him. I could have said, do you even know what the word resourceful means? I could have gone a lot of ways with it. You really shouldn't, blah, blah, blah. But instead what I did was I said, that's me on the wall. Like that is a reflection of who I am. All those words mean me. And when you say that, you're hurting my feelings. It's really hurtful to do that. And he slid right away from the word that he'd been making fun of, and he looked at the words somewhere on there. It says good with kids, and he says, well, you're good with kids. You're really good with kids. And then he sort of moved on to another word and tried another compliment. And then like an hour later, he comes up to me and he says, Karen, what does resourceful mean? Who knows how it could have gone, but in the end it turned out to be, so he learned something about me, and he learned something about the word resourceful and what it means and how I use it. Oh my God, I was so excited about it.
That is awesome.
So anyway, that's how this whole thing came about, because if I hadn't used my words, if I had gone some other way with it, if I'd blown up at him or something, then that would never have happened.
Right.
And
that's cool.
And I'm glad it did. Who am I? I am a mom with an autoimmune disease. Gosh, I feel like funny about where to start this. I mean, I spent the winter of 2012 in like a wheelchair because I had a problem with my knee, but we didn't really know what the problem was. And then I've had problems with my elbow tendons, and I've had problem with my neck, and I've had problems with just a variety of things. And finally this summer, when I couldn't use my hands because my thumb tendons basically stopped working, it became clear to one person in particular, my physical therapist, that there was more going on here than just a bunch of tendon problems. And so all along I've been fighting and struggling with this idea of what's wrong with me and why do things hurt more than they hurt other people. I think I felt like if I said, oh, I have tendinosis and autoimmune disease, it would be making me into somebody else, like only a disabled person would be a person with that, And I feel like it's really become a major part of who I am. And for a long time, it was a very negative part. Like I fought it and fought it and fought it and fought it. And these last few months, I've really been trying to find ways to not fight it, to try and work with it. It's here, I have it, I gotta work with it. What a summer. The summer of no hands. I guess it started really back in the winter. At the time, I had this stupid track phone that I had to push the buttons on, and everybody communicates by text. My thumbs were already weakened because the nature of my autoimmune disease is that my tendons are attacked by my autoimmune system. Tendons and tendon attachment points. So all of that extra bang, bang, bang combined with, I became obsessed with I wanted comfort food. So I'd make casseroles where they involved a lot of peeling or chopping or whatever. it just completely messed up my hands. And by the end of February, I could hardly use my hands anymore. So I stopped using my hands, and I went to a doctor, and I went to occupational therapy, and I started to, they started to feel better. And a normal person's hands would bounce back from that much faster. So by say May or June, I was looking to the point where I could probably do okay. And I don't even know what set them off, but the week that everybody was expecting me to be discharged from physical therapy, I upset one hand. I don't even know how. And when you upset one, you compensate with the other one. So then I upset the other one. So I went into the summer with, as I was saying before, with 5% use of my hands. And it wasn't really until after that that I really even realized it was that little. I mean, now I'm up to maybe 40% after, 6 months or something. So the summer of no hands was a summer where I sat and watched my boys and my husband do it all. And we couldn't have friends in because there was 1/4 of us that we just couldn't. And my poor husband was very overwhelmed. Ben works 40 hours a week. He has an hour commute each way. He did not need to come home and have a sink full of dishes and not have dinner ready and not have laundry and not have the grocery shopping done and not have all of those things that I actually take pleasure in.
This was such a tough time. To have Ben just be there and be so strong was just the best thing. I'm so grateful to him and so lucky to have him. I mean, the things that he did for us as a family while this was all going on, especially during this past summer and stuff, he learned how to hem. He hemmed a skirt for me once. He made, he mended the kids' snow pants. I mean, I feel so lucky. I love you so much, Ben. I'm so lucky to have you.
In the overall, it hasn't been all negative. I mean, initially, you would think that the answer would be something like, oh, it was so terrible. And it really was, especially at first. I started in the middle of the summer, I started to develop tingling and numbness in my limbs, in my neck, sometimes in my arms, especially arms and legs. And I thought something was terribly wrong. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to get gangrene or something, and my limbs are going to start falling off. Who knows what can happen when you've got thumbs that don't work and whatnot. And it turned out that was from stress. That's a stress-related condition. My doctor told me some people get a rash when they're stressed out. Some people get numbness and tingling in their limbs. So initially it was very, very negative. The kids were really unhappy to not have a mom who could do these things, but there was so much more than that. It was so much more than not being able to do them. It was this idea, I was crying all the time. I didn't want to get out of bed. I kind of didn't want to live. I mean, I really felt like I never had suicidal thoughts, but I remember thinking, you know what, if I died, they'd be better off. And I mean, I tear up to think of that now. What a terrible thing to think, They need me. I'm so much more than just hands, So, as I say, at first it was really, really horrible, but I went and saw a really good psychologist, which I would recommend for anyone, whether they're going through this or not. And he helped me to figure out that I'm more than just my hands. And Ben and I got really smart and started thinking about, okay, so if I can't actually make things, can I be the brains? Can I organize things? And those kinds of things really made it a little bit more positive. It's brought us closer together as a family. I do feel that these events have really fostered their sense of independence and confidence. They've had to do so much for themselves. They can both see laundry all the way through from sorting to folding, and they can get it into the right drawers. I mean, woo! They can both warm up water and make themselves hot chocolate or tea or cup of soup. They are pros in the kitchen and they love using knives. Oh, to see them using knives is the most fun. They just go at it with relish. Their tastes have expanded. I mean, they're trying things now that they would never have tried in a million years, before this, because they help make it. So they're like, wow, that smells really good. We just made French onion soup yesterday, and both the boys were like, I don't know about French onion soup, Jay only likes raw onions, and he did not love it, but Max ate an entire bowl of French onion soup, which like this time last year he would not even consider. The importance of team building and support systems are crucial in a family with a disabled member. They're crucial because we all need to take care of each other. Because one person is plain injured, as that's what my therapist always says, I'm plain injured, and everybody else, we've had to kind of realign our roles. Not our roles in the family, like my sons are still sons, they haven't been elevated to kings or, relegated to cousins or something like that. They're still sons. But they do different things now, and one of the things that this whole thing has brought about is the idea that we really are a team. We function very well as a team. We have to, because if we don't, it's a total fall apart meltdown. Last winter was the first winter that I could ski again after being in a wheelchair. And I've worked my muscles up to so much strength. I worked so hard to make that happen. And last year, my 10-year-old, he was 9 at the time, my then 9-year-old Jay and we spent every Friday skiing at Wachusett Mountain. And we had a great time. And this winter, we're planning on doing it again. And this winter, my 14-year-old Max is going to snowboard.
All right, he's way up the hill. Just love to watch him snowboard. Having such a good time.
I, back in probably October, said to them, all right boys, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna do it right. You're gonna follow my exercise regimen. So I used to be an aerobics instructor, a fitness instructor. I was actually, I know people look at me and they say, wow, you were a fitness instructor, but actually I was 45 pounds heavier when I was a fitness instructor. And I was an excellent fitness instructor, let me just say that. So I was a fitness instructor, I was a yoga instructor, and I still have all of those ideas and thoughts inside my head. And so I put the boys on an exercise regimen. And so 2-3 times a week for the last 2-3 months, they've been really working their legs with fun stuff, with like Max has been balancing on a foam roller. He's up to like 3 minutes on a foam roller now. So that's one way that I am a real contributing member of this team. I'm helping the boys get in really good shape for their ski and snowboard season. I have to say that I go through life feeling incredibly grateful for what I have. I have a family who really loves me and who would be much worse off without me, I guess, put it that way. And while I don't have my hands, thankfully I have my legs, so I can ice skate, I can ski, I can do things, and I do them with the biggest grin on my face because a few years ago I couldn't do them. I think setbacks really suck, but they do make you realize what's important in life. And I think if people who didn't have this kind of disability were able to say, holy crap, I have a lot that's really good in my life, then I think that would go a long way towards making them feel grateful. And I think that's what's important. I hope that people take away from this film inspiration. I hope that they can look at somebody like me who has really had these struggles, and I hope that they can say to themselves, wow, there's a lot that I can be doing in my life. And if somebody like that girl can do it, then I can do it.